The adductors are the most underrated muscle group in your legs, and they're very important to achieve that sweep look that many people are looking for. But here's the thing, the adductor machine isn't even the most important thing to train them. The largest part of your adductors is the adductor magnets. Like, it's a behemoth. It makes up over half of the entirety of your adductors. Here's the thing, it's not even mainly a adductor. It has way more activation to do hip extension than to do adduction. Not only that, but this was measured at 0 degrees of hip flexion, which is where it has worst leverage for hip extension. So it has way more activation for hip extension than adduction, despite it being trained where it has worst leverage for hip extension. Like, imagine how much more it would be if you actually train it where it has best leverage. And that's for both the upper and lower regions of the adductor magnus. So when it comes to wanting to train the largest portion of your adductors, an SLDL or RDL is going to be way better than the adductor machine. So in my opinion, the most important exercise for your adductors is going to be an SLDL or RDL. And then if you want to add something on top of that so that you're able to train the other parts of your adductors, then throwing in an adductor machine is a good idea. And also, we see way less activation in the adductor magnus for adduction when we're in a more flexed hip. This is at 90 degrees of hip flexion, this is at 45, and this is at 0 degrees of hip flexion. This tells us that the adductor magnus has worse leverage for hip adduction when we're in a more flexed hip position. So leaning forward on the hip adduction machine, which tells us that the other adductor muscles might have better leverage when we're in a more flexed hip. So if I'm already doing hip extension to train the adductor magnus, then I would lean forward on the adduction machine so that I'm able to train the other parts of the adductors better. So in conclusion, to adductor max, doing a hip extension exercise like an RDL or SLDL is going to be the most important so that you're able to train the adductor magnus, which is by far the largest part of your adductors. And you can train the other parts of the adductors with the adductor machine, and you can lean forward so that you're able to give those other parts of the adductors better leverage.